Some people have spotted some mysterious figures inside a Bloxburg, at the observatory, and at the campsite. And in today's video, I'm going to explain why these aren't elves and have nothing to do with the elf hunt. Hey glossettes, welcome back. How are you guys doing today? Now, as you know, the Bloxburg Christmas update came out a couple days ago, and with that comes a lot of questions about the elf hunt, especially because it's being teased on the event tab here, so we know it's coming soon. But that's honestly all we really know about it. All we know is that they have confirmed the elf hunt is coming back this year. However, I'm getting a lot of comments from people thinking that they've seen elves in the game and telling me, oh my gosh, there's an elf here, there's an elf over here. And today I'm going to tell you why this is not true and there's not any elves in the game as of right now. Now, first of all, if you're wondering when the elf hunt could be starting, I did post a video talking about the kind of start date that we think it's going to happen on, as well as how you can get prepared for the elf hunt, so I'll link that at the top of the description for you. However, let's talk about these so-called elves that are already in the game, specifically the quote-unquote elf at the observatory and the one at the campsite, and I'm going to show you why these aren't actually elves. So first of all, we are going to go over here to the observatory. We are going to check both of these things out so I can show you that they're both not elves, as these two things that people are seeing are actually just Easter eggs in the game that happen to look a tiny bit like elves, I guess. So if you go up this tunnel here to the observatory and you actually turn right and you look at the kind of corner next to the tunnel, you will see this little guy. And you may be thinking, Glossie, isn't that an elf? Like, that looks a lot like the elves. Well, I'm gonna put side by side the elves and this guy. As you can see, the elves have faces, they have little hats, they look completely different to this. This is actually just an Easter egg in the map that's been in the game for years. He is always here, like no matter what time of year it is. And this is meant to look like the Roblox noob, so this is just like an Easter egg to kind of like the Roblox noob avatars. He is not an elf. People get him confused with an elf every single year. Like, I genuinely have to make this video all the time. But if you look, if you click on him, if you try and do anything, nothing will happen because he is not an elf. However, he does normally get removed from the game whilst the elf hunt is going on, so if he suddenly disappears, that could be a big hint that the elf hunt is on its way, as this is usually kind of like the first place they put the elves for the first elf on the first day. However, last year this didn't happen, and I think he just stayed in game last year because they actually hid the first elf at the town hall instead. But let's head over to the second thing that people are getting confused with an elf, because the second one is actually new to the game this year, so more people are getting confused, especially because this one looks even more like an elf than the one we've just looked at. So what you want to do to find this one is you want to drive up to the campsite, and once you're at the campsite, you want to go over here, kind of towards the back of the campsite, all the way down here to this little shed. So if we go inside of this little building and we look this way, you may be able to spot this little guy up on the kind of doorway, this little kind of thing. Once again, I will put them side by side. As you can tell, he does kind of look more like them because he does have a hat, but this isn't an elf. This is just a little gnome guy. He's just meant to be a little Easter egg inside the kind of campsite area. He isn't an elf. Once again, you can't click on him or do anything. This is just kind of the doorway buttons. He isn't an elf. He has been here since summer, and he's just a little Easter egg. He's just a little gnome. I do understand why people are getting confused because they do look a lot like elves, but yeah, they aren't. I can 100% confirm they aren't elves and they have nothing to do with the elf hunt. They're just things that are normally always in the game. That is pretty much it for today's video. I've just been getting a lot of comments of kind of like about these two things, so I really wanted to just confirm that they aren't elves. However, as usual, if we get any missing elf posters or anything else new happens with the elf hunt, I will be posting videos on it ASAP, so make sure you subscribe for those, especially as we're getting so close to 100k. But that is all for today's video, and I love you all so much, glosseheads, so let me know if you have any other questions. Have a wonderful Glossmas. XOXO, Glossie Girl.